Hello, everyone. Patriot 5 here. There's not many on. I didn't expect many on. But the thing is, this video will be here all weekend. We may have to do a video over the weekend because I really believe we're going to get some great news. I believe, and I'm going to stretch it a little bit because I believe between right now, as I speak to you right now, Gary, Janet, I know there's a couple others on, but as I speak to you guys right now and everybody else is on here, I just feel full of confidence. Now, let me say that what I say here, I believe it to be true when I say it. And what I'm about to say, I believe it to be true. But it may not be. But it's just, if you run numbers, it adds up. I'm going to talk to the children a little bit. It's not going to be a long video. I tried to set it to where I really wouldn't interrupt anybody's lunch hour. It is 1 o'clock, almost 1 o'clock my time. So it's 2. I guess it would be right at the beginning of the lunch hour in California and that. But I promise you that grab a sandwich. It might be worth it for you. I got some things to talk about. Last night, Bruce, when me and Marianne was talking, I think we was expecting more. But when I was sitting at home last night listening, I thought he made some good points, which I'll touch on. But I'm going to say right now, guys, I believe that we are on the threshold of between right now today and the end of not this weekend, next weekend. So that's 9 days. And people's going to say, oh, you're always stretching. No, I'm not stretching it. If it was up to me, this would have happened a long time ago. But I'm going to give you my reasonings why I'm going to say this. After I say the pledge, after I talk to the children, and I'm just going to go through the children, not going to mention any names. The only name I might going to mention is Patriot Super Gymnast. As tonight, I hope everybody wishes her good luck and prays for her because she has her performance tonight with her play. As I told you, she's one of only 2 fifth graders out of the middle school that made the play. I would think she would be ready to nail it. I would think she would be ready to nail her part tonight. And she's going to do something in there that is a little out of the extraordinary, but she won't tell me what it is because she wants to surprise me. So I will keep you updated on that. But yesterday was Thursday. Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock, they did a run through of the play. The parents were allowed to come watch it, and the brothers and sisters if you didn't have babysitters. So my daughter, Patriot Super Gymnast mom, has already seen this. Today, they was doing it for my daughter's school, the kindergarten through 4th. In the afternoon, they was doing it for the middle school, all the people that she goes to school with. And that's the one that she said is worrying her the most. So I just give her some advice. If you get stuck, what do you think I would be doing? Do you think I would be cheering you on? Do you think I would be telling you, Ella, you can do it? Come on, you can do anything you want. Just think of me and my cheerful talks with you. She's not going to need it, but I do everything I can do to help my grandkids, who I finally have all 5 of them healthy at once for the first time this year, I believe. So to all the other children, you're here for a reason. You're part of this family for a reason. And whenever we pray for the children because we believe the children right now are the backbones of what this beautiful country, this beautiful world is going to be. So to all our children, hello, have a great weekend. But do me a favor. The weather's supposed to be nice, getting a little nicer. go outside and play for a little bit. Put your cell phones, put your tablets, put your computers down and go out and enjoy life. Go cut a branch off of a tree and use it for a bow and arrow. I can teach you how. I used to do it all the time. So, we got a few more on here now, so I can quit jabbering. So I'm going to go ahead and say the pledge. Then I'm going to play the music, and then we're going to get into the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Things were going work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt as love is land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who gave that right to me. And I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt this is land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Wow. Got a little emotional there on that song. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of my feelings, and I really believe we're getting close, guys. And I'm going to discuss that in a minute. But if you just listen to that song, now for you guys that come on, thank you very much. I know I give you a very short notice. I was contemplating not doing anything. Addison, come here. I'm trying to get her here. Ron wants Addison to come and tell her hi. But she's being a little butthole today. She's got their TV going. So anyway, last night, Marianne gave me play-by-play of Bruce, and there were some good points and there were some bad points. One of the things I really want to start off talking about, though, is the leaders signing a certain agreement to end the war in them two countries. And you get so many different stories. I try to listen to the positive ones. For those of you that got the notification today that I was doing the show in about 10 minutes from YouTube here, you notice there was a picture, and that's the picture of Julia, the girl that I write in Ukraine. We get a letter from each other on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We take the weekend off. Hello, everyone. Sean Trucking with BS. So anyway, a lot of people's been asking me, can I see a picture of her? Can I see a picture? So I thought I'd put it up there. So anybody wants to see a picture of her, go look at my announcement that on here today. And she's right there. So I wrote her last night. I wrote her a very long letter. Imagine that. Linda, are you on here? Imagine me writing a very long letter. You know, anybody who's ever gotten something from me understands that when I say something, I really try to put it into words. Then I use a lot of them. I was talking to this one person a while back, and they told me, I was on all day and you never stopped by and even said hi. That was a day that I had the trouble with my car. I was at my grandkids' basketball games. I was on the go all day long, when I locked my keys out. Later at night, I sent a message to this person and I said, I'm sorry I wasn't on. This is the first time I've really been on all day. Now here she's getting mad at me because I'm not writing her, and she's just a friend. And then the next day, I thought, okay, I'll go in there. And I made it a point to go in there 3 or 4 times. And one time I wrote her a long letter. And she told me, she says, you write too much. I'm thinking, and I'm not cutting women down here, so Janet, are you the only woman on here? But, I'm not cutting women down. But it's a fickle thing here. One day I don't talk enough. The next day I talk too much. And I have the tendency to do that. But last night I wrote her a very long letter. And then at midnight I do my walk. I walk for about an hour and 15 minutes. Ron gives me a phone call a little after 1, and he says, I just sent you a link over for a video. Go watch it. Okay, I'll go. Let's 20 minutes later, me and Ron still talking, and I told him I had to go to the bathroom, which I really did. Sean Trucking, Ralph, you should know I'm legit. These I know. Back in the 70s, Sean, I wore so much stuff. Yep, that's where we played. So you was from you was in Buckingham, Sean? What's your last name, if you don't mind telling? Or just email it to me if you don't want others to know. But anyway, I go and I watch this video and I go to the bathroom and get off the pot, more or less. Actually, I just had to stand. now my bathroom breaks. But I went in and I watched it. And I go, oh my God, I got to write her another letter. Oh, wow. The letter was with Dallas and some lady, and they talked about a lot of things. They talked about the big N. They talked about the big G. And I'm going to get to that as soon as I say this, because they also talked about today. And the lady is going to Dallas, do you think that something is going to happen special today? Do you think something is going to happen? Addison, come here. Come here. Do you think something's going to happen on Friday? And come here. Say hi to Uncle Ron. Just say hi, Uncle Ron.
Hi, Uncle.
Well, you got to get up here where you can see you. Now,
Hi, Uncle.
Say hi to everybody else. Say hi, everybody else. Okay. So she's asking Dallas, and she says, because Dallas, I really believe that they're going to come to a conclusion and get this ended, this war. And Dallas says, well, which war are you talking about? Which conflict? And she said, the big one, meaning the Ukraine and Russia. And he said, oh, that is a done deal. That is done. The paperwork is all done. Everything is done. It's on the Hat's desk. All they're waiting for is to get the three of them together and sign it. It's done. It's over. And then, you start putting things into perspective. This is why I say over the next 9 days, I think you're going to see a lot. And I do. I really believe all of it's coming out then. I believe you're going to see the R&R money. I believe you're going to see the money that they just got for Doge that we're supposed to get. And I believe you're going to see them sooner than later once this is a sign. Now, Dallas did say it's supposed to do it today, and that's what I've heard in another video. But he did say if it doesn't get done today, it will get done this weekend. But see, we have a very, very, very special meeting, very special thing coming up with a hat on Tuesday the 4th. And you guys all know about what that is, dealing with the real Constitution and everything. You guys, and they better be there or they're done. The people, he's not pulling no strings here. He's not pulling no favors. He told them, you're there, you're supporting, or you're gone. But see, by getting this agreement signed, by getting a couple little agreements signed for these couple little skirmishes in a couple of other countries, which, that shouldn't be much at all to take care of, because they're smaller countries where, just imagine 206 or 207 countries, because 208 signed it, but a couple of them decide they want to go and have a little bit of a not so friendly confrontation, and the other 206 countries come after you. Because, see, we're getting ready to go to a thing there will be no wars. We will be war-free for at least 1,000 years. But see, all of this what I'm about to say needs to be said, because you need to understand that we can't move forward with the other things until we know we have world peace. But if we get this one going that's right now, like I said, the girl that I sent the picture of today on this channel, when I did my, announcement, she's from the Ukraine, and you know what they're going. And for all those who think this is not true, it is. She has friends, or she had friends, some friends. And see, I can't tell her, well, I know how you feel, because I don't. I've never lived in a country that's been war-torn. And it's sad when you want to help someone so bad, but you can't. So anyway, I wrote her last night a second letter. Thank you, Mac. I wrote her a second letter, and in that second letter, I communicate, Sean. I communicate with Donna all the time. Okay. Okay. Now I understand. Okay. So anyway, letter, and I said, this is probably going to be I've ever written you, because I just want to get to the point. And then I got a little bit, let's make her wait. So I started talking about something else. And then you go, see, I told you it wasn't going to be very long. I'm going to tell you now what I need to tell you. And then I went off on another subject, and I did this about 5 or 6 times. When she wrote me today, she told me, I was just about ready to go down to the bottom of the letter and see if you even had any information, because you just kept me on the edge of my seat. But she said, when I read it, she says, I literally busted out crying. She said, my mom was there. My best friend was there, and they go, what is going on? Yes, she does. I think she's just beautiful because I believe her grandpa is just a handsome man. Thank you, Janet. But anyway, you know, their mom and her best friend says, why are you crying? She said, read what Ralph just wrote me. And when she read it, she said they all three started hugging and crying because they can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that light at the end of the tunnel for that particular thing, I believe, is what's going to let us all see the light at the end of the tunnel. I believe within the next 9 days, we will have the big N and big G announced. I believe, as I told you, the raise for the Social Security, I believe we'll get the money from R&R. I believe we'll get the money from Doge. And now people says they're going to give it all to us at once. Yeah, because see, everybody's on this crusade that we're $36 trillion in debt. No. The corporation of the United States of America was $36 trillion in debt. That no longer exists come the 4th of March. Probably now, but for sure the 4th of March. And our president will become the 19th president of the United States of America. So that's what I wanted to explain here. Because when that happens, all of this can come out because no longer can Sleepy and Dopey, can Big Mike and his boyfriend, can that nasty lady and her husband that likes Monica, that no longer can these bushes, these beans, leave the stink around that they've left. They're done. They're through their toast. But it all comes down to getting these conflicts, these wars ended. Now, why do I say we're going to get this money now? Bruce says he thinks we could get the 800 numbers today or tomorrow and go today or tomorrow or Sunday. Myself personally, and me and Ron have been talking about this, we don't think it's going to go until other things happen. And I just mentioned getting the money. Now, let's put it this way. Sean, I've been talking to you, been having a nice conversation. Mac, Papa G, thank you. Uncle Ron just loves, I think, well, he doesn't pull no punches. Addison is, the little monkey is Uncle Ron's favorite of all of his great nieces and nephews. But anyway, I've been talking to you guys, and I'm just going to play a little game here. Let's assume that none of you have any currency. Let's assume none of you have any bonds. You have no currency, but you really don't know nothing about it. But one of the things that they fear when they give us the 800 numbers and we go to Redemption Center is people waiting outside where, they might try to do something to us because now we go in plain Ralph. I go in plain Ralph. I come out Rich Ralph. And they're afraid for our safety. That's why these NDAs are going. And guys, take these NDAs serious. Sean and Mac and Janet and Bill, Ron, I'm going to add, Ron's not going to go with me, but I'm going to add Ron as someone I can talk to. But as I told him, we don't talk in a room where there's a TV, a radio, a cell phone, nothing. We will only talk if we're someplace where there's nothing around. Take it serious, guys. But what I'm saying, if the three guys I mentioned a minute ago, you don't have no currency, but they give you stuff for being you are. They give you money for Social Security, a raise. Can you imagine if they go up to $5,000 and give 65 and older or 62 and older, whatever it is, $7,500 for a year? That's $12,500. And that has nothing to do with R&R money. But can you imagine if you do something like that? If you take my son and my daughter-in-law, you take my son-in-law and my daughter, 3 out of 4 of them are pretty much non-believers. My daughter believes a little bit. She believed more, but she's just getting tired of nothing happening. She's like us. So with that being said, can you imagine? They're all of them, except for my daughter-in-law. She's only going to be 31 this year. But see, I've heard that it actually goes down to 25. They want you to work at least 3 to 4 years. And if you're out of college, you can. And I mean, and this girl, she went to junior college, but she worked all the while she went there. So, I mean, she's been working pretty much since she was 18 years old. So, she's worked, she's paid in, she's done her dues. But even if not, my son gets $5,000 if that happens. My son-in-law and my daughter get $10,000 a month. Can you imagine it? Do you think they're going to think anything about if their dad goes out and buys a new car? Because he's got not only the money that he got like they got, but he got extra on Social Security. And, they're not going to care. People, the main thing is, guys, we got to get money into everybody's hand. So the people on the streets cannot be the people on the streets. They can get inside and they can take care of themselves. And I know there's going to be centers set up, and I think getting on the beds will help them too, where they'll get a change of mind. Because, just imagine you now have the money to do what you need to do. Because I don't care if you've been on the street for 20 years. I don't care if you're 45 years old and you've been homeless for 20 years, which I do care. I'm not saying it in that way. But what I mean is still, for them 25 years, for your whole life, if you're 45 years old, for them whole 45 years, they have been doing the things with your birth certificates. If you got married, a lot of homeless people were married, but they never took the time to get divorced. Or if they got divorced, there's still the decrees there. There's still the paperwork there. So everybody's going to get money. I think a great thing would do for people like that is just to get and purchase hotels. It's got, not just the room in it where the 2 beds, but it's got the bathroom, and maybe it's got a little off room where you can sit to eat, and maybe that's a little kitchenette. It's not actually an apartment. I mean, you can get these because when people go on vacations, they want something like that because they don't want just to lay in their room and sleep and eat out all the time. They want the opportunity to be able to cook a few meals in their rooms. So you get something like that. I mean, can you imagine a person that's been on the streets for 20 years? Now all of a sudden he's got a roof over his head. He's got money to buy food, but we get him on the beds. So if they're alcoholics or druggies, we can save them. That's what I'm looking at. So I want to pull some things up here, see what we got. Ron said he had Bruce for me. He said read the reading part. So I want to kind of look that over. I don't know. Is Margaret Savior on today? Has anybody seen her? Because I haven't been opening her stuff the last couple of days, only because all of a sudden 2 Margarets showed up in my messenger. So here's Bruce's intel, the one we read. I promise, guys, I'm going to get you out of here in about 10 more minutes. Where are we now? First things to do, we have any new information about SS or RR. Not right now. Bruce believes it'll happen the first of the month or could happen after what's going to take place on Tuesday. Bruce isn't really hoping for this month, but is encouraged with a little bit of information and puzzles the pieces to complete the picture. We had 2 very strong sources say, they were telling us, don't worry, this is going to be the week that we'll receive notifications. And Bruce thinks this is still possible. Remember, when he did the show, it was Thursday night. He didn't say by the end of the month. He said by the end of the week, which runs through Saturday. Sunday starts a new week. He knows one of the RC staff members works at the bank, then goes into the RC. in the afternoon. Why would you go into work in the bank in the daytime and then when you're supposed to be off, go to the RC? It has to mean, guys, because we're close and we're about ready to get everything we want. Notifications, and Bruce thinks this is still possible this week. He knows. Okay, I've already read that. So why would he do that unless they were expecting for a toll-free numbers in our emails, and that would be in person to help set appointments. So tomorrow, the 28th, so could be looking good for us to get notified and set our appointments starting Saturday, March 1st, which let everybody know Saturday, March 1st is my mother's birthday. And even though she's not here, I will go to the cemetery with some flowers. So that is quite possible. And this is going to happen this week. And we were told it was not to worry. As far as the redemption centers, one email received, and they were saying waiting on one more, and they should get it tomorrow. And that could say when the green light is turned on for the release. And Bruce thinks this is what should be and could be coming. We are having trouble getting the information from bondholders. We know bondholders are being paid, but we don't know if their funds is spendable yet, or if they will be getting a notification today or tomorrow, letting them know how much they have in their of their funds they have, and when it will be spendable. Saturday or even sometime tomorrow, that's going to take place. The next thing, Bruce believes that within the next 48 hours, if nothing else, we'll get a shotgun start. One other thing, after the PM of the UK, after the president of the UK had a press conference with DJT, then our hat signed off on the Big N and Big G both this afternoon, and we believe they will be brought out this coming Tuesday, the 4th, which I have already mentioned. That pretty much does it, because Bruce then got into a mode where he wanted to say something, he just couldn't remember what it was. And he said a few things, nothing that I felt was of any importance. And then all of a sudden he says, but while I'm trying to think of this, what I really want to say, why I'm trying to think of what I want to say is it's not too late to get, you know what? And as soon as he said it's not too late, click, it was done. And the sad part about it is he did come back after about 3 minutes or 4 minutes of talking about Sue. Now, here's Sue spoke for 50 minutes last night, Bob for about 10, which I don't know why Bob was so short. But Bruce actually came on at 9 o'clock my time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern time, which they need to start taking into consideration. Bruce also mentioned that 3 to 4 million people watched his video or listened to his audio, his show on Tuesday night afterwards. Over 3 to 4 million people. But he said they only listened to the information part of his. They didn't listen to the rest of it. Shouldn't I tell you something? That people, 3 to 4 million people, because Tuesday night's call was a tremendous amount of great information. It was upbeat. It could get anybody excited. And 3 to 4 million people listened to it in 2 days. And he's worried about golden bundles or pills that I'm sure they're good. I'm sure the stuff Bob sells is good, but holy moly. We're in a situation. Bob's been sick 3 or 4 times this year, I think. So that being said, let me see now if I can find what Judy has to say, and we'll close this thing up. I'm shooting for 40 minutes, and we're at 34:42. Well, thank you, Janet. Janet sent me a message, tell me she's still listening. Or Sharon sent me a message, tell me she's still listening to shows. There we go. Let's see. That's me. This happens. The reading. Okay, this one should be right here. See what Judy has to say, and I'm pretty sure I probably covered a lot of it. This is Judy Bidington on today, the 28th of February. Guys, doesn't it seem like we was just wishing everybody Merry Christmas and Happy New Year? And now we're less than 12 hours away from going into the month 3. Judy has a disclaimer. Please be aware that I can only report news as I find it. Some of the news is true. Some of the news is not true. It's up to you to decide what you want to believe in. And I do this because, and I read this because, see, Judy in Restored Republic has been taking a beating with people say they never get nothing right. Well, show me someone doing shows that's getting anything right. They're giving us misinformation so we can put it out there so we can lead the people. Well, see, Lady Anita, that is just what I'm doing. You can't trust someone who's wrong about everything. He's got a few things right. But, the only reason I get anything right is because I tell stories about my family or other people that I know the stories are true. But, if we're told, okay, here, I'm really promoting this thing today because I've seen it that these 3 leaders are supposed to get together, sign some papers, and end a war. And I'm really promoting that. So do you give up on me? Do you give up on the show if that doesn't happen? Because it's out there. Everybody's reporting it. So, but the thing about it is, Lady Anita, everybody has the right to their opinion. I know a lot of people are upset. I get upset with Bruce just because he does a good show, I think. He's a good speaker and he can get people motivated. He can get their vibrations up. But people get down so low because they have to wait an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half before they get a chance to hear what he has to say. Okay. The hat makes it official. The 3-letter organization that starts with an I, and you know what the other 2 letters are, is dead. But see, here's what I don't understand. He makes it official, but yet he just went out and spent a lot of money hiring Kash Patel and Dan Bongino to do stuff. What are they doing if it's dead? If it no longer exists, when you wait till you made the announcement that it was no longer existing, but this is what the new thing is, and this is what the 2 people are going to be working with. I don't know. Thousands to be laid off, 250 of them 3-letter offices to be closed. No more federal income tax tariffs on foreign nations instead. There's some countries out there that are not real strong, that they're acting like they're here. I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on. They're acting like they're real strong. And they really want to go up against the hat and the United States of America on tariffs. They really want to say that, well, we'll tariff you for everything you send into our country. Yeah, we might send $1 trillion of stuff in a year to their country. But into our country, they might send, and they need this for them to operate, they might send 10 trillion. Who do you think is going to get hurt the most? The hat will just say, you know what? We'll just quit sending you anything and see how you do. And then if they can get it from some other country, the tariffs tax will double or triple anyway. I've always said when you're messing with a bully, you be very careful because they don't care. He doesn't care if he squishes people. He cares that he wants to make America great again. The Republic of the United States of America is the actual de jure government that our founding fathers gave us, which was abandoned in 1871. And that's why I believe this Tuesday, the 4th, is so important. Despite that three-letter organization that starts with an F, recent attempt to destroy evidence of that terrible, terrible man's list, newly appointed that organization head, Kash Patel, has released the much-awaited names. Anyway, yeah, did you hear about what happened to him? What happened to him was he didn't get that stuff over to Pam Bundy, and she gave him till 8 o'clock this morning. That lady, I'm telling you, her and that new press secretary, I'm telling you right now, guys, you better make sure you got your pants zipped up and you make sure your belt's on tight, because these ladies are taking no prisoners. They are going to make America great again. Okay, this this was something about Bundy that I just talked about. What we think we know as of February 28, 2025. On Thursday, 27th February, President Hat and Secretary Rubio secured the extradition of 29 top cartel leaders from Mexico to the U.S. for prosecution. It was discovered in the initial mapping of Washington, D.C., USAID waste and fraud. That guys that had that island and all them people went to, it's talking about his files will be available today, which from I understand. That guy that used to be president, who has a good friend, Mike, was charging taxpayers $2.6 million per year to use his name on Obamacare. So he put this program together and then charged taxpayers $2.6 million a year to have that name. I mean, see, a lot of this I can't read, guys, because I'm not gonna do something. We've talked about it. That's pretty much it for now. I read something here. Papa G says that the Zelensky walked out from peace talks today. Did you actually see him walk out, or is this a mainstream media news? Because mainstream. I'm not saying he didn't, and I'm not saying it wasn't anticipated. Because if you remember what I said at the beginning of the show, getting them papers signed is the most important thing. Now, if he walks out and he goes home without signing these papers, and it's all over his country that's the reason he come to this country, was to do that. And now he walks away when his country could have went and got out of war. How do you think he's going to be treated there? I just believe that everything we do, there's always something that happens. Someone mentioned I don't listen to Bruce anymore because he never tells the truth. I went in with all hope and all belief that paper was getting signed today or tomorrow or Sunday. But remember, Dallas said if it don't get signed today, it will get signed this weekend. So he might have walked out. He might be a power play. It just may be a show. I don't know. We won't know. Well, you have to remember, someone just posted something about Canada cutting power to the Midwest. You have to remember one thing. Of all the presidents probably around right now, Canada's president is probably the least less liked. He is not liked at all. His country wants him out of there really bad. I have the privilege of talking to some people from Canada, and I get updates of how they feel about him. If he's still in charge. Canada, supposedly their leader got disappointed, upset that the hat didn't come to him first before he said he was going to ask Canada to be the 51st state of the United States of America. See, they're still going to need someone to run their part of the place. It's not like, I don't understand that. I would still think the leaders of Canada, and then we was talking about Australia and New Zealand, I would still think the main people in charge down there, once everything is condensed. But if you're good at your job, if you're good at it, the hat's going to keep you in office. The people's going to keep you in office. But if you're not good at your job, you're not going to tell a country that can flourish by becoming part of the United States. Yes, they may hate us in certain areas, but you know what? There's people in the United States that hate us. It's a terrible feeling that, I just seen some major college, they kicked a bunch of sports people off of out of their school. They took their scholarships away because they did not stand for the national anthem. So anyway, Papa G saying no deals. I'm not saying it's going to get signed today. Remember, I said coming in that Dallas said if it doesn't get signed today, it will get signed before the end of the weekend. Or, you don't think that the two people that's trying to get it signed and one's walking away, you don't think they're going to flood his country with, he walked away from a chance from you guys not being in war anymore and he wasn't losing? I mean, he had agreed upon it. Now he comes over here and he walks away. I don't know. I'm not on Newsmax. I'm not doing anything. I'm going with the belief that it will be signed before the end of the weekend. And if it doesn't, then you know what? We might as well drop our drawers, stick it up in the air and let them kiss it, because, guys, we ain't doing nothing until this happens. You're not going to go to the Redemption Center. You're not going to do anything. You can't do it. You can't do it. We can't move forward. We can't live in a world of heaven on earth if we're still having wars. Does this one guy really want to take on 207 nations? With that, I got no more to say. Have a great weekend. I hope to come back on sometime during the weekend with some great news. So, Papa G, you're saying sad but true, but we don't know if it's sad but true because you did say it was Newsmax. And you know what? Newsmax is kind of like me. When's the last time they told the truth about something like that? Good night. Good afternoon. Have a great one. Love yous all. Oh, I forgot I got to use there we go.